All right, I have a face again. Hey guys, um, thanks for coming today to this impromptu write-in. Hey Devin, and hey Pronoun, and hey Margaret. This is my first official sprint since Nano started that I was actually able to host. So my apologies to everybody here who is from my region, who has been needing sprints. Again, we have tree damage, and to that end, also, if you hear chainsaws at all during this, everything is okay. Nobody is being massacred except for a tree. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Please let me know in the comments what kind of progress you're doing for Nano, and let me know what kind of projects you're working on, and if you need any advice on anything, especially nano related. I am pretty good at giving nano advice. Hey Rose, thanks for joining this afternoon, or I'm not sure where you're from. So if this is not afternoon for you, whatever time it is, welcome. I am going to be doing a good chunk of sprinting this time. I'm probably just going to be taking 10-minute breaks since for now I am solo here. Oh, whoops. And I already realized that I messed up something slightly here. We are going to go into our first sprint at 5 past the hour. So for me, I am doing pretty well this nano. I have finished one novel, and I have since realized that I'm going to have to completely rewrite it, and that's okay. That's part of life. Oh, there we go. That is the screen that I wanted there, but not yet. Yeah, I just realized that the novel that I spent the first week of Nano working on doesn't have conflict. Yes, Devin, I apologize. Depending on how good the resolution is on your end, I apologize for Chonk being very lewd and showing off his bald nip nop. I don't know how a cat has that much fur, but not on his belly, except apparently he's so fat that the fur doesn't stretch far enough. But yeah, so he's being very lewd today, and that's okay. But yeah, so I have finished the first project. I had slated for myself to write 2 novels this month. The first one is done, and meh. I am currently starting on the second one, and I feel much better. Yes, he is out cold. I feel much better about how the second one is going to go. So that's okay. I will finish the series and go back and fix that first one to make it fit the rest of it. And then I also am editing, and I'm trying to make my first box set right now, and I'm trying to be cheap. The cover for it. I know how to do all the formatting on the inside. I'm pretty good at that sort of thing, but it's 4 books, and it turns out that there are no like free templates out there for a 4-book series, and I'm real cheap. So I'm trying to turn a 3-book template into a 4-book template. And if you guys do any sort of graphic design at all and deal with layers, you probably have a notion of the nightmare that I'm in, trying to like squeeze 4 books and their various layers into this box set designed for 3. We'll see how it goes on the end. This might be one of those projects where I waste like 12 hours of my life trying to do it, and then end up going back and paying someone on Fiverr to just flip and do it for me. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have good results. So Maggie says that this is your first nano, writing a fantasy romance. I would love to know what kind of fantasy romance, if you're doing like a paranormal, or if you're doing a high fantasy, or fantasy is such a broad term, but I write paranormal, so I'm always curious about that. 6,000 though, I think is great, and writing something every day is also great. So keep up that momentum. Even if you don't get that 50K, if you write something every single day, you'll have a whole bunch by the end of the month. Okay, So we are going to go to our first sprint. This is so weird doing this solo. I know I say this every single time I don't have Sandy here. The sentiment is still the same. So we're just going to do a little shorty for 10 minutes here. And I will be muting during that time. So if you have not done much of these virtual write-ins, don't be weirded out. There is no audio. It is 6 past because I did that little extra ramble thing that I like to do. So we are going to run until 16 past, and we'll see how everybody does at the end of this. Good luck, everybody. right, that's our first sprint. I hope you guys all did well there. I I realize I'm already having issues. I told myself when I did this project to take a whole lot of notes as I go along the way to make sure that I don't have continuity issues. And then I did none of that because it's Nano. Who has time to take notes during Nano? And of course, right off the bat, I'm at a scene where it's a scene that's already been written, and now I got to write it from this perspective. I have no idea the order of things that happened in that last time, but that's okay. I'm going to deal with that in edits. That's what edits are for. I'm going to wing it. I know what happens, just not in the order. And I got 273 on that sprint. So I am feeling pretty good about that. Again, let me know how you guys did. Maggie answered my question. You love paranormal, but you're not doing it for this book. It is based off a dream you had. I fantasy is a bit too lofty, but more accurate. I get that feeling. It's sometimes, especially in fantasy, you kind of get wedged into weird categories that, you know, nothing really describes what you're doing, but, you know, you got to go with something close enough for it. I've actually... one of my, oh, hey, I'm not muted for sprinting. This is my first time. I've been doing these shows for a pretty long time now. And this is my first time actually messing with banners. Normally, Sandy does all of that work for me. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I tried to flip to an icon for myself, and it ended up being a picture of Sandy. So any of you who are not regulars here, if you're wondering why I suddenly looked very different in my photo, I swear I'm not a catfisher. It was just the wrong photo. So I won't be doing that again. But yeah, no, I love fantasy romance, like high fantasy romance, and I wish there was more of it out there. So it's one of my goals eventually when I am more comfortable with this career that I'm trying to make, to actually write high fantasy romance. I've written one, and it's technically a portal fantasy. Again, that weird thing with like trying to wedge yourself into the correct categories. It's a portal into like a high fantasy world. Yeah, so I wrote one, but it's part of a much bigger series that I couldn't in good conscience spend all of my time working on it because it's a harder sell than paranormal romance. The pronoun I finished reading a document that sounds like some progress because you are studying right now. That is one of the big problems with Nano is there's not a good month. Like every time there's that conversation about why Nano is in November, there's not a great month to do this in. The summer months, a lot of people just don't want to be inside, but like there's, you know, February you can't do because that's a short month. And then like, you know, people are trying to do so much in January with New Year's resolutions and everything. Every single month there is an argument for why it is bad. This month is bad because of Thanksgiving and also because this is coming to the end of the school year for a lot of people who are doing this, both in the Young Writers program and in the full program, not, you know, college students and not just like that early 20 age, but you know, I was a college student in my late 20s. So, you know, a slightly different perspective there. But yeah, so there's not a good month. And I apologize to anybody trying to do this while trying to get schoolwork done. Again, it's been a long time for me because I'm considerably older than my late 20s, but I've definitely had a few write-ins that ended up turning into tutoring sessions. I happen to be strong in a couple of oh my God, I'm not strong in speaking today, apparently, and that's okay. But I happen to be strong in a couple of subjects that people tend to be very weak in. So I've definitely just kind of put a halt to writing to help somebody with physics and calculus and stuff like that along the way. education is more important than NaNoWriMo. But if you could pull off both of them, even better. Geez, you guys are being quiet today. Or I am lagging terribly. Again, if you are not somebody who is in these sprints a lot, there is a delay. Most of us who run these things run it through StreamYard, and StreamYard collects the comments from YouTube and dumps them into a nice little sidebar for me right there. But there is like a 30-second delay, and depending on how many comments are coming in, sometimes it just suddenly dumps like a ton of comments there. So we won't think that anything is happening, and then there's too many to read. So if you have said something to me and I haven't responded to you, it might just still be sitting there. Yeah, so I know what Maggie is working on, that fantasy romance. Nobody else has told me what they're doing. If you're worried that I am going to in some way shame you for what you're working on, I cannot stress enough that I am writing an alien romance right now. And if you are not familiar with the genre, yes, it is extremely smutty. So, like, you know, I'm not going to judge you for whatever you're doing. I just like to know what people are working on. I normally get really excited about the projects. And Pronoun says, I wish I had the brain power to write a whole book and study in 1 month. It's terrible. One of the reasons that I was able to, I feel like I always have like those lucky breaks where there is some like glitch in the matrix, so to speak, that makes me be able to pull off like more things at once than it sounds normal. So if you're thinking, how the heck have I written almost 50,000 words this month already? It's because this is all I do. And we're in the middle of a quarantine. So even if I wanted to do more, I couldn't do more, but like I don't have a day job anymore. So the sky's the limit for me. But when I was in college, I was able to balance studying and writing and having a job all at the same time, because I am from a resort town originally. And so the shop that I worked at, we just only had one employee. We were open 4 days a week. We had one employee that worked the entire shift, and that was me. And aside from like obviously Thanksgiving weekend with Black Friday and all of that, it was pretty crazy. Other than that, nobody's doing any shopping in November in a beach town in Delaware. It is too cold to go in the water by that time, unless you are a local who enjoys that sort of thing. So I actually had like, you know, I would probably deal, like I would literally sell enough to cover my wages if I was lucky. The rest of the year made up for that. We stayed open just so that, you know, anybody who wanted our stuff could. And I spent all of that time studying. And then, so because I was able to do all of my studying there, when I went home, I did my writing. And that worked out really well, because nobody is going to judge you for studying while you're at the register when they know that there's nobody in town for you to deal with. They're just real proud of you for doing something that will hopefully get you out of the retail life. So that was just a little story on my life. It looks like a bunch of people just joined us. We are going into our next sprint right now. So let me flip that screen. And we are going to go for, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to go for 20 minutes this time. Next time, I'll probably get some feedback from you guys about what you want. But we're going to go for 20 minutes right now. And again, I am starting a minute late. So it is 26 after. So that is going to take us to 46 after. Good luck, everybody. Get those words in. Hello. Good. I'm sorry I'd come out, but I'm in the middle of a show. I just happen to be on mute time right now. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, as I mentioned before, this is my first time dealing with banners, and apparently, I remembered to say I was muted, but didn't actually mute myself. So sorry if I like scared the crap out of anybody there. We have, as I mentioned before, we are doing tree removal today, and so we have some people in and out of the house. Oh God, why are you not focused? The computer is me today, not focused. All right, camera. It is what it is. Okay. So let's see. While we were writing, Nicole joined us. Thank you for visiting with us today. I hope you got some words written. Oh my God. I'm not going to keep freaking out about the camera, but like internally, I'm going to keep freaking out about the camera just to see you guys now. And I was really distracted that time. Let's see. I did get about 350 words there. So I still did pretty good on that. I'm, again, writing this real funky scene that is kind of a mess in more ways than just, oh, come on. I'm sorry. I know I said I wasn't going to freak out. Oh, my God. Sorry. I just can't look at myself, which, I mean, why am I looking at myself anyway? Thank you, Pronoun, for not hearing anything scandalous. I feel like it was just more creepy because I don't know why I didn't just, like, say hello to her in my normal voice. It was like I fully knew that I wasn't muted. Hey, like, I don't know. Part of me knew that I was not muted, and then part of me did not. I was like, I'm just gonna say everything now. Woo. Yeah, it's strange times. So we are on the 14th of the month. I'm usually really good at keeping track of how far everybody needs to be along in Nano at this point. Again, because I'm usually interacting a lot more with other Nanos at this point. But so tomorrow, you should all be at 25K if you are keeping up, which means that today you should be at 23.7 if my math game is strong, and I feel like it is. So, I hope you guys are doing well. I know that I believe it was Maggie earlier said she was at 8K, and that's okay. And I say this, I talk about this a lot, but if you are still here at the halfway point or roughly the halfway point, and you're that far behind, you're still doing good. The big problem with the second week is that it is, you know, you've kind of lost that momentum. It's easy to keep up momentum for like a week, and then it kind of all fades and all of those little problems start to come up. You know, you're also, especially for pantsers, you get all these ideas in your head that you kind of like spew out onto the paper at the beginning, or the computer, the metaphorical paper, and then you run out of those. And so the second week is definitely a rough time. And the thing is that it's easy. This is why I've said so many times, like, if you don't think you can make that 50K, don't make your goal 50K. Because it's a lot easier to hit today and have, like Nicole just said, she has 6K, Maggie's got 8K. It's a lot easier to be at 6K or 8K today and say, well, there's no way I'm going to make that 50K, so I just don't have any motivation anymore. It's easier to say that than to say, well, my goal was only 20,000 and I'm not that far off goal right now and I can do this. So, you know, even if part of today is reevaluating your goals and saying, you know, it's never going to make it, or if you are like me and having a quarantine Thanksgiving and not doing the whole traveling and all of that, then you've got that little extra weekend there to really bang out some words. I don't know. I've had some crazy Thanksgiving weekend, like 10K days that, you know, just to make up for it. I don't recommend it. You know, I say that, but actually I kind of do. I feel like now that would have absolutely no value to me, and I would just have like a whole bunch of trash to take out at the end for it. But back in my earlier writing days, just forcing myself to do that like 10K day to make up for, the fact that it's the 27th and I'm sitting at like 30,000 words. I think that's just part of the skill that you learn this skill as of writing, of like writing quickly. And then you also learn the skill of writing well, and eventually you put them together. So even if you're like doing a 10K day that ends up with being a whole bunch of trash and like stream of consciousness, then it doesn't mean that it was less valuable. It just means that you were developing a different skill and not technically writing a story, but you were developing a skill set. And yes, as Devin has reminded me, Canada has already had their Thanksgiving. Devin, this is going to be potentially a weird question, and just go with it. I'm sure you guys have Black Friday up there because Black Friday is a shopping thing, and therefore the entire flipping world does Black Friday, especially now that it's all over the internet. Is it really weird to you guys the day that it starts on, or is American culture so saturated throughout the world that you're like, yep, it's the day after Thanksgiving in America, and so here we go. And then, of course, he asks these questions, and that it's his downtime after that. And that's the problem with doing these streams solo. So I'm using... Oh, okay. So you just start... we also like jump full throttle into Christmas after Thanksgiving. I feel like that's pretty normal. This year is a little weird. A lot of people are jumping into it earlier. But I feel like in general, we all say, well, Thanksgiving has passed and now it's time. People, not businesses, of course. Walmart has had their Christmas stuff up since I think August this year. But for people, I feel like it's a fairly standard thing to kind of jump into Christmas. Right after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. Black Friday is also jumping into Christmas. So that's a little crazy then. You guys have an extra month of dealing with that than us. I don't know. Like, I will say one nice thing here, at least because of the job that I used to have, is that there is a nice spacing between Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So when I was doing the cake decorating thing, they were exactly a month apart, basically. So, we would have this whole like nightmare rush the like week of the holiday, and then we would drop to nothing the week after. That's just how it is. And then we would slowly build back up, and it was a good little like doing it. Okay. So, oh, that's fantastic. You used to eat Halloween candy while watching Christmas specials. We do that too, if we're able to save our candy for that long. I was definitely one of those candy hoarders that I would like be eating that candy up until Easter came along and I got that new batch of candy. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our next sprint. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you guys what you wanted this sprint to be. So we're just going to go for another 20 minutes. If you don't like 20-minute sprints, though, please let me know, and I will change the time on this. We'll probably end up with like a wonky one at the end, and that's okay. So we're going to go for the next 20 minutes. It is 5 of, so it is going to take us to a quarter after. You guys go get those words or studying or whatever you're doing. All right, we are back and my focus is still not here. I was really hoping that would fix it. But this is just the day that we're going to have. I got about 300 that time. Right as I was beginning that sprint, I heard a scream outside and there are chainsaws going on. So I was a little worried and I went to investigate and it turned out it was not pain. It was chainsaw frustration. I feel like we have all been there, not necessarily with chainsaws, but they are prone to dying and not wanting to start back up again. And of course it's that pull cord thing. And yeah. I don't deal a lot with chainsaws, but I've definitely been there with lawnmowers many times. So thankfully everybody is okay, just angry at their chainsaw. Please guys, let me know how you did. I am here for you. I am doing this sprint for you and also for me. Like I'm not going to pretend like this is entirely altruistic. With everything that's been going on this week, I have not been able to focus. It's funny how much you need internet. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I always figured that not having internet would make me more productive because what else do I have to do if I don't have internet? And of course, we are people who we have cut the cord. We don't have cable. We have 8 bajillion different streaming services and none of them work if there's no internet to stream off of. So yeah, I would have thought that I would be more productive for having nothing else to do. And it turns out what happens in this situation, at least for me, is I wallow. I just mope about not having internet. And I read books to distract me, which is, I mean, reading, yay, but not exactly what I need to be doing during Nano. And like, I was like, I could write some blog posts, but also I can't get onto WordPress and somehow I can't write a blog post if I'm doing it in Microsoft Word. Like, oh, I'm gonna have to format it and all these pictures later, and I can't do that because I can't get on the internet. So here we are. I'm back. They finally fixed it yesterday. I was very pleased to find out that the Comcast guy was just as irritated as I was by the half-assed job that they had done the day before with hanging the lines, but not actually fixing our line. I felt vindicated in that. It's always nice when you get a nice service tech who also hates what is going on. So yeah, that's been my frustration lately. Maggie is losing some steam, but got a little over 100 words that time. I still feel like that is an accomplishment. Yay, 100 words. And the pronoun I read through another document. Well done. Pronoun, I never thought to ask before, what are you studying? Either specifically, what is this class? Or if you are a college student, I believe you are. I believe we've discussed this before, but of course these conversations just go woo a lot. What do you study? Again, this is my jam. I do a lot with education. I worked in education for many years. Haven't in a while now, but I still always get real jazzed up about it because that's who I am as a person. And again, everybody else, let me know how you did. We will start that next stream at 25. Oh my God. I am so bad at this banner thing. There we go. Oh, yes. I totally agree with this. I also have many dreams about living in a cabin in the woods. It is something that I have discussed doing many times. And and yeah, the same with me. Like, I would absolutely have internet in my cabin in the woods, but I've also lived in enough rural areas to know that, like, I have pristine internet in Atlanta, and that is not what the case is going to be if I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I am originally from upstate New York, which is very much snow country. It's different. It's like if you live in the Midwest, like, you know, or like, I guess it's still Midwest if you're talking about places like Montana. But if you're in an area like that, when I say snow country, upstate New York is a very different snow country than that, but it does snow for a huge chunk of the year. It's weird there. But so, like, that's where I'm from. And I've always said that I would never go back to snow unless I didn't have to travel for work. If I didn't have to, like, drive in the snow more than, like, once a week or like that once a month to go into town to get supplies, I'd be cool with it. But I could never ever live in snow full time if I had to drive, because I'm terrified of it. And that's like, not only did I live, like, was I born in upstate New York, I moved out when I was like 6 or 7, but then I went back for college. I went to Syracuse for college, and the times that I did have to drive in the snow, like, I can remember my car just being like sitting at a red light and slowly sliding off the road, because if you're not from an area that's like this, here in Georgia, the roads are pretty much flat, so we don't have to worry about stuff like that. But of course, the roads are capped when you have got conditions like that, so they've got a very slight angle to them, so everything drains properly. And yeah, like, I can remember, like, I had a fairly light car. I had a 74 Volkswagen Beetle, and it would just slide into the ditch when it was like from a standstill. I can deal with rain. I spent my formative years in Delaware. I learned how to drive in Delaware. We get tropical storms in Delaware, so they're nor'easters up at that latitude. But I can drive through a tropical storm. But hydroplaning, I'm a pro at, but snow, not at all. Let's see. So Devin, let's see. So pronoun is an English language and literature subject for your BA in creative writing. One of my degrees is in English as well, but we didn't have concentrations at that school, and so it was mostly a lit degree, which I don't like so much. But it's a degree. It's a degree. Yeah, I definitely, like, my favorite part of majoring in English was my mechanics classes. That was my jam. Let's see. Devin has vacationed in upstate New York. It is beautiful. I like, the snow is purely a function problem for me. I can't function in it, but it is gorgeous up there. So beautiful, except for that weirdness with the sun not coming out for 4 months a year. That is an actual thing. It's lake effect, and it's yeah. So, like, because it's between the Finger Lakes and Lake Erie, you're just stuck in cloud cover for most of snow season. And when the sun does come out, I apologize, there are chainsaws happening, or a leaf blower, I think that is, going right next to me. But yeah, so you don't see the sun. Seasonal depression is a major issue there. Therapists will absolutely prescribe tanning beds to people, like, just to get that vitamin D going. The couple of days in the winter that the sun does come out, you don't know what's going on. You don't know why you're blind when you first walk outside. And it's because obviously the sun is reflecting off the snow, but it's so unfamiliar because you're in this months of cloud cover that you're like, I don't know what's happening. Yes. Michigan is very flat, and that does make the driving easier. I will say that it's better in flat land. Oh my God. I also, I'm going to do this one story and then we're going to go back to writing because I said we were going to start it at 25 after. I think I said that. But another issue is that, so I'm in Syracuse. It's a city. It's a city on a hill. That's literally its nickname, the city on the hill. And even though Atlanta is also on a hill, doesn't matter. But so sometimes you'd be at a traffic light that was on a hill. I'm doing it. There we go. It was on a hill, and you'd be sitting here, and it would be all snowy and icy. And at least with a manual transmission like I had, in order to get yourself going up that hill, at least with my car, because also it was an older and it was manual, I would have to actually put up the parking brake and use that to hold my place while I gun the engine to get up the hill. And if that doesn't sound horrifying, as an 18-year-old, it was kind of scary. As a 40-year-old, no. So if any of you are writing about, a snowy area and you're not actually familiar with issues in snowy areas, there are a couple little tidbits of what it's like to drive in snow on a hill. So we are going to go ahead and do the next sprint. Sorry, that was like a weird random. It is what it is. You got to fill that time with something, and that's how I filled the time. Stories of me trying to drive in the snow. So and then Maggie made that comment about what to do with a BA in English. I can talk about that in a minute. The answers aren't good. We are going to write for the next 20 minutes. It is 27 after. So we're going to go until 47 after, and that'll probably be about the end of our show because I was going to run until 4 o'clock. So I will see you guys in 20 minutes. Okay, that was our last sprint. Let me know how you guys did. I hit my 50K finally, which is great because I was irritated that I didn't hit 50K on that first book. And so part of why I've been pushing so hard on this one instead of doing the other stuff I wanted to do was I just wanted to make sure that I had that and not be scrambling for it later in the month. I don't know. It felt strange to ditch the actual writing stuff until I hit the actual 50K. I apologize, Maggie. I saw the quotes around what do you do with a BA in English? And obviously I did not make the connection that it was a quote. So I don't know what musical it's from. I'm not a big musical person. I should change that statement. I love musicals. I only ever see the ones that everybody else has seen 8 million times. And I mostly do more musical movies than actual theater, which is an issue. I like the theater. I just don't ever go. But let me know how you guys did. Thank you, Devin and Maggie. This was, I wasn't expecting to hit it today. I don't know. I guess just like the last 3 days, I've only been getting like 500 to 1,000. So I kind of told myself that it wasn't going to be until, Avenue Q. I have seen that one, but like once, so I don't remember any of the lines for it. But yeah, so awesome. But yeah, so I was not expecting to get it today, and here we are. Right before I started writing that time, I checked my word count, and I was like, oh, holy crap, I'm almost there, actually. So this is not actual pressure off, but a bit of pressure off. I'll feel more comfortable with all of these side projects, like that stupid Photoshop that I am working on. Yeah, so that is about it for me today. For next week, if you guys are my regular watchers, please subscribe because our schedule is going to be like a little messed up this week. I know that my regular watchers are subscribed. That's how they found this today, because I only had it announced in the Nano stuff. But for those of you who are here from my Nano region, please subscribe. I do host write-ins all week long. Usually they are Mondays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. We might actually be moving the Tuesday one back a little bit because I was looking at that nifty Google Calendar that was put together with all of the sprints in it. And oh, you know what? Never mind. There was a big hole. Oh no, am I looking at the wrong week? Ignore me. I'm looking at the wrong week. There is a sprint. There are sprints happening from 8 to 10 on Tuesday, according to that, but not 10 to 12. So I might be pushing Tuesday back from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. And then Thursday and Friday, we will be doing 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm probably also going to be doing a couple of later ones for those of you who are in my region so that, I know that everybody's got different availabilities. And of course, if you are working a regular office job, then the 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. sprints are probably not optimal time for you. So I'm probably going to be doing some 8 p.m. sprints as well, just to make sure everybody gets something. I would like to hopefully see everybody at some point. We'll see how that goes. This year is kind of a mess. I feel really bad because I feel like I was finally starting to pull this region together last year. We had a really big showing at my kickoff party. And then I got fairly consistent attendance at write-ins, nothing big, but I had a couple people at every write-in and that was real nice. And then this year happened and I feel like I'm going to be ground zero again next year, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so I guess that is everything for today. Hopefully there are not a whole bunch of comments sitting in the chat box right now that I haven't gotten to, because I think unless something pops up in the next couple of seconds, we are going to call it here. Maggie is leaving, so good, I am up to date. Yes, go run. I am also leaving. So good luck to you guys, and get lots of words in, and hopefully I will see you sometime next week.